G'day everyone, Daniel Anderson here. Now today we're going to be talking about SharePoint pages, one of the fundamentals of understanding SharePoint. Knowing how these are set up, how they're structured, and how to use and create these will make sure that your SharePoint sites are becoming engaging and people will come back and interact with your content. So let's dive in and get stuck into it. Now you can see that I'm on a SharePoint communication site called The Landing. It's acting as our intranet. Now let's start by creating our first SharePoint page. So we'll click the new button and we'll go new page. Now that is going to be that will take us to this panel here. Now, if it is the first time, then you will get this little wizard. Are you new or I've done this before? We're just going to say that I've done this before. Let's go. Now you can see here that we've got the option to start a page from 3 different out-of-the-box templates at the time of this recording. We've got blank, we've got visual, and we've got basic text. Gives us a starting point that we can build on top of. Now I'm just going to start with the blank page and we'll build on top of that page template. Once I click create, I'm taken to the page. You can see that we've got a blank canvas. Now the horizontal components of a SharePoint page are what we call sections. So we can create multiple sections on a page. Inside these sections are our columns. And then inside our columns, we add our web parts or our building blocks to our page. And that's how we create or add content to our page. Let's start with the title area across the top. You can see, because I'm in edit mode, I've got the green bounding boxes that are highlighting the section that I'm working in. On the left-hand side in the rail, I've got a green plus where I can add our sections. All right. So let's jump back up to the title section or the title area at the top. We can see that we've got a different types of layout options. We've got image and title, we've got plain, we've got color block, and we've got overlap. And we can dynamically change these and see what they look like. So you can see here, there's the image and title. I've got color block, which is a little bit larger. And then I've got overlap, which then overlaps the content across the top of the title. Now let's add an image to our title area. So I'm going to click on that image icon. I'll just choose from a stock image here just to get us started and get us something in the title area there. So let's choose this image here. We'll go insert. So that now is going to add that image to our title area. We can change the focal point of our image as well. So we can go up and down and sideways a little bit, and then we can change what gets shown. So overlap, let's change this to color block, and we can see that we get a different view. Image and title, let's just leave it at that. So we can see here we can add our title. So I'm just going to go SharePoint Fundamentals, and we'll go pages. And let's just fix up this spelling here, and we're good to go. We've got the author of the page that gets added there too. And you can see that we're now moving down the page, we've got our first section that gets added. You can see that it's kind of a single column. Now, when I click inside this white space here, I've got these extra icons that appear on the left-hand side. I can edit the section and I can change the layout of this section. You can see that we can lay out our sections in a couple of different ways. We've got 1 column, we've got 2 columns, 3 columns, 1/3 right and 1/3 left. We can also give our sections some background shading. Now this is really handy if we've got a number of sections that are stacked on top of each other and we want to break the page up so that visually people get a different experience. We can also make these sections collapsible, which we'll have a look at in just a second. So you can see I've got a text web part that is inside this section. Now what I might do is let's just change this top section to 2 columns. So now we've split this section and only this section into a 50-50 split. So I can then add another text web part to this page. Let's go right hand side and we'll go this one. We'll just pop in left hand side like so. Now you can see underneath this section, we can add another section. And again, we've got different layout options for us to choose from. we've also got a tab here that gives us some predefined section templates. So if I wanted a 3-column image and text, so I wanted to lay out, I've got 3 images that I want to upload and add to this section, I can choose that there, and you can see that it gives me that predefined template where I can add my 3 images, and I've got my text web parts underneath that as well. And again, I'm going to add another section. Let's just choose a 1/3 right section here. So you can see this section has been split up into a standard type of section where I've got the text or the body of the of this section on the left hand side, and potentially some links or some associated content on the right hand side of the page. Now you can also see that we had a section that is called a vertical section, and this is a little bit of a special type of section. What it does is it runs down the entire right hand side of the page, and then it moves the rest of the page or the sections to the left hand side a little bit. And again, I can add a vertical section shading there, and you can see that that has now turned gray. All right. So let's just remove that vertical section now. And what we might do is add some collapsible sections. So what we'll use this section here, let's make this one collapsible. So I'm going to toggle this, and all of a sudden I'll get a section name. So I might go image and text as the title, and then we've got a few more options. We've got expand and collapse the icon alignment is the left or the right, so I can either have this little the arrow on the left or the right. We might leave it on the right for now, and we can change the default. Do we want it collapsed by default, or do we want it expanded by default? So let's just leave it collapsed by default, and then we will now publish our page. So I'm going to hit the publish button, and we now have a live page. So here we've got our 2 columns, which has been split 50-50, and we've got our collapsible section here, which we don't have any content right now, but it is expandable and collapsible. So let's pop this page back into edit mode, and we'll edit our section here, and we'll add some images. So I'll just again go to stock images. We'll choose 3 images here, and let's go for this one here. So we'll just use the same image for each of these. We'll go browse. Let's go for another stock image, and we'll just use the same one for each of these. And we'll go browse again, and the last one will pop in to this section. We'll use this one here, and here we can add our text. All right, add our text. We'll just copy this, we'll jump into there, we'll jump into there. So now we've got our content in this collapsible section. Let's just republish this again, image and text. We can expand that now, and now we've got the content being expanded. So really, another really good way to break up your pages is to have some expandable sections in there as well. Now, you'll notice down the bottom here that we've got some social aspect of the page here. Now, if we don't want comments, then we can turn our comments off. We get a little bit of indication of how engaged the people are that are coming to our page as well. People can save it. You can see how many views, and also people can like it as well. All right, so let's just republish this page. Now, what we can also see is when this section, we've got the ability to copy a link to this section as well. So if I open this up, we can see that I can copy this, and it's a link to that actual section of the page. All right. So if we wanted to then maybe change things up and change the layout, then we can do that nice and easily by, or the header, sorry, we might want to change the header. So let's just jump up to here, we'll change the header, we'll go, maybe we want our overlap, and then again, we can dynamically see that that has now changed. When we're in edit mode, we've got a few options across the top here. We can see our page details. So when I click on page details, you'll see that we've got the ability to have a different thumbnail as opposed to that of the title area. So when we're thinking about maybe the highlighted content web part or search results, the thumbnail is what comes up. So if you want to have a dedicated different thumbnail for this page, then this is where we can do that. And again, here we've got the ability to have our description of the page. And again, that gets surfaced in a lot of different areas, especially around search. We can copy the link to the page and we can send that to people and they can click on that link, and obviously that is going to open up as well. All right. So SharePoint pages, whether we're creating a news article or a SharePoint page, it's the same concept. Image and title area across the top. The page is made up of sections, which are your horizontal components. And then we've got our columns inside of those sections. Inside of those columns is where we add our web parts or our building blocks for our SharePoint page. So there we have it. SharePoint Fundamentals, the SharePoint page. Hope that brings you some value. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.